friends, welcome back to my channel. Also, if you are new, welcome. We are getting this house clean and organized and back together. I want to thank you guys so much. Last week, as you guys know, I was sick as a dog. It was absolutely miserable, and so many of you guys were saying there was a bunch of stuff going around and you guys were sick also, and I really appreciate all your guys' support. I know last Tuesday's video was way off than normal. I'm usually like Chatty Cathy over here, and I just couldn't at all. I don't know what it was. I told Bobby it wasn't a congestion thing or like a respiratory thing, but I literally couldn't leave my bed without getting nauseous and dizzy. I was in bed for 3 days. So you can tell that my bedroom had gotten out of hand, and I was definitely ready by the time I was feeling better to get the house back in order. So on this day, my main focus was the bedroom because, like I said, this is where I was stuck for 3 days straight. I didn't leave my room. Bobby brought me food, water. He took care of the house, the kids, everything for those 3 days, and the bedroom had just gotten ridiculous. So I'm just going to go around, clean everything up, dust, as well as strip the bed, because no one wants to be sleeping in a bed that you've been laying in for days not feeling good. So we're just going to go around and get everything back to normal. I don't know about you, but for my mental health, when my house gets out of control, like my head gets out of control. So this is one of those things that it feels so good to have gotten it done. I know some people are like, you should rest, you should do this, you should do that. But honestly, I can't relax in a messy space. That's why often when I'm sick, you guys still see me like up and cleaning and doing stuff, because to actually relax, it's really hard when everything's a disaster. But sometimes life just punches you in the face and says you don't have a choice. And that is definitely what happened to me. Now, when it comes to washing the bed, I was doing it on its hottest cycle. I wanted to make sure we were killing any germs or anything going around. So I used the hottest cycle. I also used laundry detergent, OxyClean, and borax on everything, just really making sure everything's super duper clean. I love that laundry soap. Oh, what is it? The R&W laundry soap. It smells so good. I have been using it on everything. However, I saw someone do like a DIY powdered soap that you can make a lot of it for very, very cheap. And then they just bought one of the R&W laundry soaps and put that in, and it like fragranced the whole thing, but you got so much more out of it. I think I'm going to end up trying that. The only thing is I'm like, where am I going to store it? I don't like have a crazy amount of storage space, so I still have to figure that out. But definitely wanted to make sure to get that all going first. I do have a second set of sheets and everything for my bed, because people always ask like, oh, why don't you just buy a second set of sheets? That way you can make your bed right away. I know I'm not the only one, because I've asked this question before, but I personally love the feeling of washing my bedding and then later in the day making the bed and going to bed on like freshly washed linens and everything that came right out of the dryer. To me, it's the best feeling in the world. So I have a second set of sheets, but I literally only use that if like one of the kids have an accident in our bed in the middle of the night and I need to strip our bed like quickly, but plan on going back to sleep. So if you couldn't tell, we have had a cold burst here in Florida, so I did start out in this sweatshirt, but I always get questions about this sweatshirt. It's one of my favorites. It's super oversized, which I think any girl knows, like, that's the best type of sweatshirt, is a super oversized sweatshirt. My sister, though, was asking me about it the other day also. She's like, what are you wearing? So this sweatshirt, Bobby actually got me when he was deployed overseas in the UAE, and it is literally one of my favorite sweatshirts. It is so comfortable and cozy. I will say, though, after a little bit, I started getting warm and had to switch into just a regular short sleeve, because when I was just like hanging out around the house, I was cold, but once I got moving, I had definitely warmed up. I will say, though, this project pretty much happened throughout the entire day, because this was like the day after me not feeling good. So I was wanting to get stuff done, but also was like, okay, I don't want to like work so hard that tomorrow I'm like stuck in bed again. So just remember, if you aren't feeling well, don't feel like you have to push yourself. Even in this video, and it's hard to like show on camera other than if I actually like filmed every time I sat down. But I definitely made sure that I was taking lots of breaks, really pacing myself and trying not to overdo it and letting my body fully heal. Especially since I know my immune system right now isn't the greatest anyway. I just had a baby a little over 4 months ago. And to have her, it was major surgery. So my body is still healing in many ways. So I definitely know I need to take it easy.
Never again, never this love. This is how we talk when your walls are falling. This is what it means when your heart is falling. This is how it feels when your love is burning. This is how, yeah, this is how. This is how we talk when your walls are falling. This is how we love.
So how are you guys doing so far on your goals for the new year? I don't like calling them resolutions because I swear I always fail resolutions, but I know at the beginning of the month I mentioned one of the big things I wanted to focus on was my own self-care, and just like doing things to make sure that I'm staying healthy and everything like that. So I've been obviously watching my diet. I'm probably just as active as I always was. I'm a fairly active person already, and I have not worked in morning workout routines yet. I've wanted to, but it's just waking up in the middle of the night and then deciding to wake up early to work out just isn't happening. So my regular activity during the day. But one of the big things I changed this year is I started going to see a homeopathic doctor. And I absolutely love her. Like, she is trained in Eastern and Western medicine. And you guys know me, like, I'm not like super duper hippie, but I'm a little when it comes to stuff. Like, I want to try and heal myself naturally as much as possible before going on any type of medication and stuff like that. So a couple weeks ago, actually before Christmas, I went and had blood work done. And we did a whole hormone panel. So checking all my vitamin levels, checking if I was diabetic or pre-diabetic, any of those things, my estrogen, progesterone, can never say that right, and testosterone, like literally all my hormone panels. And just recently, when I went and saw her, finally got all the results back. So found out my, what is it? Progesterone? Yes. That's a little bit low. And then my testosterone is a little bit low. Unfortunately, though, currently there's nothing I can do about it because what she would recommend doing has not been tested with breastfeeding moms. So we're going to wait on that. But the other thing that was low is my B12 and vitamin D, which I know a lot of you are like, Cambria, you live in Florida. How are you low on vitamin D? But I am Irish. So when I go outside, I burn very easily. So I usually try to avoid the sun as much as possible. And then on top of that, I also will break out in hives if I'm in the sun for too long. People who have been here for a while know when I've done like major outdoor projects, my hands end up like, they get so bad, all broken out in different blisters and sores. So I just started on a B vitamin, and it's like all the B's. She's like, just take a multi. If you're short on B12, just take a major B vitamin. And my vitamin D was low enough. She actually started me on a prescription strength vitamin D for the next 3 months. And then the other thing we were looking at, because I told her, I'm like, weight loss has always been really hard on me ever since having kids. Like before kids, I was tiny, super tiny. After having kids, seems like it doesn't matter what I do, the weight just does not want to move on me. Like I may get down to a certain size, but I've never gotten to like where I was when Bobby and I first met before we had kids and things like that. And I've done everything in the book. So that is why we were looking also at like my levels for diabetes and pre-diabetes. But what's kind of cool is she is actually my mom's doctor as well. So she's like, I kind of have a cheat code for you because I've done all these tests on your mom already. And since your mom is half your genetics, I kind of know which way we can go about things. So we have a game plan for that too. But unfortunately, once again, what she wanted to put me on, I can't take right now. So I figure it's okay. We're playing the long game here. Let's work on my vitamin D, vitamin B. Oh, this is why I got a new purse. I wanted to show you my old purse. So I was afraid one of these days this handle was just going to snap. I am someone, I don't like buying a ton of purses. That last purse I've had for 5 or 6 years. I like to buy one good purse, like spend decent money on it, nothing too crazy, but decent money so it's a good, reliable purse. And then I run those things to the ground. So I finally just got this new purse. I love it. It's got so much storage space. And I actually like that the top zips completely. My other purse did not do that. But the other thing I was laughing about is as I was going through my keys, I'm like, I got all these like different, what are they called? Those like, I don't want to say keychains, but they come for like grocery stores, like reward cards and stuff on my chains. And I don't use any of them. And to tell you how old they are, I still had a Best Buy reward zone on here. Like, I don't remember the last time I went to Best Buy. Yeah. And then there was other ones on there that was like, oh, what was the oldest one? Oh, what's the Blockbuster? I had a Blockbuster one as well. That's the one I should have shown. That's the one that's like, okay, that thing is old, obviously. But yeah, so how is your New Year's resolutions going? Like I said, that's where I'm at with mine. We're just getting started working on things. I have gone back to being more animal-based when it comes to my diet. I did give that up while I was sick just because at that point I was just trying to eat anything that would stay in my stomach. But I'm working on it. I feel like as moms, it's so easy to pour your heart and soul into your kids that you sometimes forget about yourself. And with Athena being my last, and honestly, I think the whole like scare of having her, like health scare of having her and everything, just kind of put everything into perspective that I want to be here and be the best for my kids and give my kids everything. But the only way I can do that is by taking care of myself. So that is my goal this year. And so far, so good. Other than getting sick as a dog. But hey, I don't think I've been that sick in like 15, 20 years. So if I can go another 15 to 20 years without being that sick, that's not too bad for me.
Started out just like a lovely story. You were mine and we were really happy. Came around when I was pretty lonely. Glad you found someone that I could be with. Never ever really crossed my mind that you were just hanging around.
You guys know I always recommend to dry dust before doing any type of wet dusting. It makes the biggest difference in the world, especially if you have animals in your house. One of the hardest things to combat is dog hair and pet hair in general, dander and stuff like that. And I have found the easiest way to not feel like you're just like pushing it around is dry dust first. It may not get everything, but just getting that like majority of the dust before spraying it down makes the biggest difference in the world. And it's such an easy step. I've been getting the Swiffer duster dupes off of Amazon. I will say, I don't know if they're as good as the ones from the store, but they're not bad. I don't know. I guess I've never given them a side-by-side comparison. But they definitely do make a big difference when I go in here, especially in the bathroom. Like, Bailey likes to sleep on the floor in here, so there's always like dog hair around the toilet. But there's also just always hair on the sinks and everything from me brushing my hair, Bobby shaving. Like, those are just things that naturally is going to build up over time. And this just makes it so much easier to get it clean. I was thinking the other day, though, when often I get asked about how to keep your house clean, what do you do to maintain a clean house? And I feel like often one thing people need to figure out first is I honestly, if I was going back to when I was first married to Bobby, trying to figure all this stuff out, because I have not always been this clean and this tidy of a person. Like, I, growing up, was not the cleanest, most tidy person. But then after getting married, I'm like, okay, I now have a house of my own, a husband, kids, these things, and I wanted to figure it out. One of the things I wish I would have known from the very beginning is it is way better to master the skill of being tidy before mastering the skill of cleaning. Because there's a big difference between cleaning and tidying up. And being able to keep your house tidy should come first. And I know that may sound crazy, but it's so much easier to clean when you're not cleaning a cluttered mess. So if you are just getting out started and you're feeling overwhelmed and you're like, I don't know where to start, everything needs a deep clean, there's clutter everywhere. You guys know I always say declutter first, and don't stress out about decluttering everything in your house. Like, decluttering is a process. It's okay that it's a process. If this time that shirt is a yes, keep it. And then in 6 months, reevaluate. I always say decluttering is one of those things, it's a muscle. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. You also will learn to really enjoy it the more you do it, because as you realize how much easier it is to maintain your home and how much more joy you get out of your home with the less things you have, the easier it is to declutter. At least that is what I have found over time. But yes, figuring out just the basic tidying of your house first. So keeping up with the toys, keeping up with just like making sure there's nothing on the floor, things like that, and then focus on the cleaning. Give yourself one easy step at a time. If you try and master it all at once, I promise most people are going to get overwhelmed and just give up. But if you focus on one task, one easy like habit you can add into your life and just slowly add on. Also, don't feel like you have to like be perfect all at once. It took me years of like getting a good routine down, a good habit down. I'm still constantly like decluttering and organizing and changing out my organization things to master where I'm at now. It's just adding one little habit here or there, and over time, it gets so much easier. I do believe out there are definitely people that are naturally clean and tidy people, and they just have it easy. But I think for the majority of us, we have to work on it, and that's totally okay. Like, it's okay to not naturally be a clean person. I don't think most of us are.
Can't believe someone like me is
is here with somebody like you. There's something about you and I know why. I'm gonna tell you what it is. It's in your smile and in your feet. It's high and low and in between. And I am glad to let you know, but only if you give me a kiss. Yeah, it's no secret at all.
So I have two mops that I love using. Obviously, my O-Cedar Spin Mop I have had now for years and years. Love my O-Cedar Spin Mop. Oh, by the way, for I can't remember who left the comment, but I did respond to your comment about your O-Cedar Spin Mop handle being loose. I do know these spin mops, they twist to control like how long the handle is. So I think when it comes to the handle, that's all you have to do is tighten it. But you also mentioned the head not staying on. I would have a couple questions. One, is it the head that came with it or one you bought separately? Because I do know sometimes there's like off brands that don't actually fit it correctly. Otherwise, I don't really have a good answer for that because I haven't had that situation, which is why I am saying it here. Because if you guys have a O-Cedar mop and notice that the head wasn't tight and the mop heads kept falling off, let me know in the comments below. Help each other out. That is one thing I love about this community is if I don't have the answer, often I know one of you guys do. Like I said, I think the handle's an easy fix. I think it just needs to be twisted and tightened. But the actual mop head falling off, that I'm not 100% sure. So if anyone has any recommendations, have dealt with it before and figured out how to fix it, I would love if you guys would help each other out and leave a comment down below with that, because that is why we are all here, to support each other and encourage each other to keep on going. And I'm just going to thank you guys ahead of time because you guys are amazing. And I know someone's going to have an answer for you down there. But I also have the spin mop that's a square one that separates the dirty and clean water. That one I love. And often I have people ask me why, like, I go from one to the other. So on this day, I decided on my spin mop because there are a couple areas on the baseboards and stuff I wanted to get clean. And I feel like the cedar cleans the baseboards and everything really, really well. And then I'm not like having to get out multiple different cleaning tools. You guys know me. One of the best things to make cleaning easier and faster is not having to go from one product to the next or one tool to the next. If you can use one product and one tool on your entire house, that is going to make it the quickest and most efficient. Here you can see I'm just rinsing out the shower. I had sprayed that cleaner on earlier and just really let it sit. That cleaner is great for just like quick cleanings. This definitely was not a day that I was going to scrub my shower. Like I said, still trying to take it easy on this day, but wanted the shower cleaned as well. So I sprayed it, mopped, and then I just wanted to rinse it all down. It works really, really well. The only thing is I can never figure out how to do this, and it's annoying because I'm like, I just mopped, so I don't want to get the floors dirty again, but now these mop socks are soaked. So I was like trying to balance my way out without tracking throughout the rest of the house. But moving on, this is a whole nother day, but wanting to get the kitchen cleaned up and everything. I had a couple groceries delivered, nothing too crazy. Actually, mainly had groceries delivered because Xander needed stuff for school. They're having a school project, and there are a couple things like the vanilla icing and stuff that they needed for that. But this was one of those things of, once again, just trying to get the house back in order. Like I said earlier, Bobby and the kids were great. They took care of the house really, really well while I was sick. But there's just a difference between like tidying and cleaning, and they kept the house very tidy and neat while I was sick. But clean wise, that is where I really wanted to focus on these couple of days.
I have seen that face more than a million times, like a million times. I have seen that, baby. I can treat
So I'm really glad, though. My milk supply had plummeted while I was sick, and naturally, I was kind of having a little bit of anxiety over that. I was making enough for Athena, but as you guys know, I have been a way overproducer for a while now. So I went from pumping like 10 to 14 ounces every single pump to hoping I would get 4 ounces, and it was stressing me out. I did a bunch of research though and started feeling a lot better, but perfect timing. My supply is back up because I was also stressing out because I had recently agreed to helping out another mama with her baby, which amazingly enough, once again, talking about the awesomeness of this community, is I am actually helping one of you guys over here on YouTube. She's local to me, and I am helping feed her baby, which I love. I wanted to donate, and I was looking into it and everything, but I really was trying to find someone local because I love the milk banks, but most people donate to milk banks, and then they only go to babies in the NICU. And babies in the NICU obviously need it. I am a mom to 3 kids that were NICU babies, and 100% thankful for any donations when my babies themselves needed it. But I also know there's people like this woman that isn't producing enough. Her daughter wasn't responding well to formula, which I feel for, because I don't know if I've said this story on here before. I probably have, but if I haven't, Xander was that way. And when I dried up milk-wise, because I went back to work when I first had Xander, we gave him formula, and he broke out in hives all over, as well as his face swelled up so bad that his eyes were swollen shut. And I about had a nervous breakdown. You can imagine. I'm a brand new mom at this point. I was 21 years old and just went back to work, already feeling bad that I couldn't feed my baby anymore. My body wasn't doing it. And I gave him formula for the first time. And I thought I was going to kill my baby with formula. It was terrifying. But so I feel for the whole certain babies just don't respond well to a lot of formula. So I'm very thankful that I was able to find someone local that needs the milk, but I'm also very thankful that my supply has come back, because I'm like, okay, I can once again make sure Athena's fed, still freeze drying milk for her in the future, but then also making enough milk to feed another baby and help another mama out. I highly recommend, if you can do stuff like that, so recommend it, because I feel like it's just very fulfilling to be able to help people in that way. And I don't know, it's the same reason I loved doing the hoarder series and helping hand series, which, by the way, I do want to start that up again. I know I've mentioned that a couple times, but I always get people asking me about my hoarders and helping hand series. Yes, 100%. I do want to start that up again. It probably won't start back up though until the fall, just purely because with breastfeeding, I'm on such a strict schedule of pumping and everything that I can't go to someone else's house and comfortably be able to help someone and be like, okay, every 2 to 3 hours have to go and take a long break. It'd be way too stressful. But hopefully, cross my fingers, come fall. So if you are interested and live near Volusia County, within an hour, and you want help, keep that in mind, that you could definitely message me. And maybe even coming up over the summer, I can help people and just do less than I was doing, maybe one family a month type situation. I could probably do that also. So if you live local here in Florida, like I said, within about an hour of Volusia County, give or take, I'm willing to travel a little bit. I do love doing that series and would love to do it again. You can always message me on Instagram. Instagram is the easiest way to get a hold of me if you're looking for messages and stuff, just because I can sort through the messages a lot easier than either comments on here or my email, which actually just goes to my management company. So if you're ever looking or you know someone that could use the help, message me on Instagram, and I definitely want to start that up no later than fall. Like I said, I may even start doing some a little bit sooner and just not as often as I was, but be able to fit in a couple here and there. I know a lot of you guys are really, really interested in me starting that up again, and I promise it's definitely on the docket of something I really want to do.
One thing I know for sure, what we have is something worth fighting for. With bad news knocking at my door, but I like it like that. We go all in and I'm falling, but I like it like that. And it's so wrong, but still so strong, but I like it like that.
All right, if you guys have made it this far into the video, and no, don't worry, we're not at the end yet. We still got like another 10 minutes to clean together, so don't worry about it. We're still moving along. But if you have made it this far into the video, I would love if you would leave me a comment saying cleaning crew. You guys know I love everyone that watches my videos all the way to the end. Like, you guys are amazing. You guys that comment, like, and watch my videos from beginning to end, like, that is the biggest blessing to me in the world, and I appreciate each and every one of you for doing that so much. So Bobby and I just got done watching Landman. It was actually another recommendation from one of you guys. We love The Lioness and what is the other one? The Ranch Show. Why can't I think of what it is? Oh, it's gonna drive Yellowstone. That was gonna drive me crazy if I couldn't think of it. Those two shows. And I recently had one of you guys mention watching Landman, that it's by the same writer and everything. So good. If you guys have not watched Landman, highly recommend it if you enjoy Yellowstone or The Lioness. Such a good show. It's another, just like I said, same writer, so completely different storylines, but the same really good, like, engaging, on the edge of your seat type writing. Great show to watch. Oh, I almost forgot to tell you guys. So I was teasing the kids tonight because just the other day, so Bjorn has gotten really into cooking. Whenever I'm cooking dinner, he's been wanting to help out and learn new things, which I love doing. Xander has been interested in a while, so he knows a good amount, but Bjorn's just started really getting into it. So I have been having him help with me with stuff the other day, and the other day I taught him how to make tuna casserole. And it was hilarious because I asked Freya jokingly if Bjorn was a better cook than Mama, and she real quick, like, I was planning on being like, is your brother a better cook than me? Choose your words wisely. That is what I wanted to say, but when I said, is your brother a better cook than me, she so quickly, before I could even get the next words out of my mouth, said yes. Everyone was dying laughing. But I was teasing the kids then today because Athena is like on the verge of laughing, and it's one of my favorite milestones of babies is those first giggles. And it usually happens right around that 4-month mark. And with Athena being premature, I know it could vary a little bit, and she is just over 4 months old now. But so Bjorn gets home from school today, and Athena's in her little jolly jumper. She loves that thing. She will jump in that thing all day. It's her favorite place to be. Literally, she will choose that over being held pretty much any time. unless I have food for her, she would rather be in her Jolly Jumper. But come home with Bjorn from school and he goes over, lays on the floor to talk with her and play with her while she's jumping. And that girl starts giggling at him so easily. And I'm like, I can't believe it. He's like, what? I'm like, she's never laughed before. I'm like, how in the world did you get the first giggles out of her? I have been trying for weeks now doing like the big, small song with her. And she loves that, to play that game. All sorts of things with her. And she's been like on the verge, but never actually let out a giggle. And then today she lets it out. I'm like, I swear you kids are plotting against me. First, Freya is saying Bjorn's a better cook than me. And now Athena is laughing at Bjorn. And then I go over there and tried to get her to laugh and she wouldn't do it. I was like, I can't believe it. So I'm hoping though, because she did laugh, that now it's going to happen more often, because to me, there is nothing cuter in the world than a giggling, laughing baby. It's my favorite thing. And she's such a happy baby. Like, she is smiley and happy all the time. As long as like her basic needs are met. Like, she hates having a dirty diaper like most babies. So you change her diaper and you keep her fed and she's happy like all the time. She's been so easy for the most part, other than the breastfeeding portion. But hey, I'll take it because she's such a happy baby. But actually getting those laughs, I haven't gotten one yet. And yeah, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, how? I'm in the kitchen, filling milk bags and storage bags, and I hear her giggle, and I'm like, I cannot believe I just missed that. How did I miss her first laugh? Oh, and yeah, Bjorn, he's such a goofball, and he's just like laughing his butt off, thinking it's hilarious that he got the first laugh out of her. Oh, it was cute though. At least we have an open concept house, and I was able to hear it because I was like, I missed it. And it's one of those things, like, knowing she's my last, like, all of her firsts are my lasts. So that's probably a little bit of it inside of me where I'm like, oh, but I don't get that anymore. But it was really, really cute. So hopefully, cross my fingers, I start getting some giggles from her as well, because I just love the baby giggles and am a little jealous that he got it before I did. But here you can see I wanted to go into the boys' room. The boys' room, they usually clean up themselves. However, I knew I wanted to wash all of their bedding, and I also wanted to get in there with the vacuum really well. I planned on just running the robot vacuum throughout the entire house. And whenever I do bedding, I just tidy up the whole house. So I know I have had people ask me, like, how often do I move the kids' beds to clean underneath them? When I bought their beds, I specifically made sure that they were ones that were, one, easy to move. They're very light. But two, also that I can just get under them. So usually they're not that bad. You can see here, there was a couple things underneath them, but nothing too crazy. I enjoy, though, coming in here probably about once every week, once every 2 weeks. Kind of depends on what's going on. And giving their room this quick tidy up. Because I can remember as a kid, like, I hated cleaning my room. It was just felt like an overwhelming task. Whenever I got asked to clean my room, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is something that's going to take forever. Like, I got so much anxiety over the fact of just clean my room, and it seems so basic that now as a mom, like, I go in their room and I'm like, okay, it's really not that bad. Like, there's one little toy and a pencil and a pair of socks under the bed, nothing too crazy. But I know for them and their little brains that are still developing and everything, that coming home and knowing that I went in here and I cleaned their room and everything, I know as a kid, I definitely appreciated those days that I could come home and I could just relax because it was done. I didn't have this like looming anxiety of having to clean up my room. Well, I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, like I said, leave me a like, a comment. Actually, leave me a star emoji if you made it all the way to the end. Like, If you made it to that 32-minute point, obviously you left the comment cleaning crew. But if you've made it this far, leave me a star emoji. I think you guys truly are the stars of the show and the MVPs for making it this far, and I really, really appreciate it. Also, if you're new here, I would love if you would subscribe. I do a lot of cleaning content in here. I also love to declutter and organize and chit chat with you guys. As you can tell, I am very talkative. Hopefully you've learned some tips and tricks along the way with my ranting as we go. Also, gotta love Freya's cup underneath there. That cup has been missing now for weeks, and I just noticed it. Luckily, I had just recently bought her a bunch of new cups, so it wasn't a huge deal because that just ended up going into the garbage. I didn't even open it. I'm like, I don't know what's in here. I don't want to know what's in here. It's going in the garbage. I bought her new cups anyway. Raise your hand if you are someone that has found either a cup or a bottle in the past and not knowing how long it's been there and just tossed it. I've definitely done that a couple times. I've once found a bottle in the car and now this cup here, and I'm like, nope, because if that's milk in there and I open it, I'm never getting that smell out of the house. So it went straight to the trash. But I'll see you guys next time. Bye.